this canine go-go bar, the speciality of the house is hot dog. Lap dancing lap dogs next on the Six Ad Cast.
So then Jeff had a problem with who? With a fan, and then he said...
He wants to do the intro first.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought this was it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, here it comes. Yeah, kayfabe. I'm going to leave in some of this kayfabe stuff, and then I'm going to blame Sarah for...
So rude, he interrupted me.
Hello, everybody. It is a Six Ad Cast for Thursday, February 20th, 2020. Sarah was going on about some sort of drama and Jeffree Star and yada, yada, yada. And what's going on in this month of February. So Sarah, just in the other room. Oh, anyway, I'm over here. To my left is my good friend Manuel.
Hey, what's up, guys?
See, this is what you get for interrupting me.
Ay,
We
Dios
could just
mío.
finish this and you would have had a smooth intro.
No, but I wanted to get back in. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what's your name?
And to your right,
To my right
Is your...
other half.
my other half. And her name is...
Sarah.
There you go, Sarah. Okay, so in the other room just now, you were watching some drama stuff, and you were explaining to Manuel why you dislike Jeffree Star.
I found a new YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
She's absolutely adorable. 7-year recovery alcoholic. Good for her.
Does that stuff really work? Like, I hear people say, I've been sober 2 years, but then I hear, the next time I hear about them, it's like a catastrophe, like just disaster.
I watched Peter Mon and he's been sober for 25 years.
Oh, wow. So it does work.
Yeah.
It's just some people.
If you're in the right program.
Yeah. So just raise your drinks to Peter Mon. I'm kidding.
Stop. Raise your Diet
Triggered.
Coke for him.
I love fucking with Sarah about this stuff.
You're such a dick. Turn off your mic.
No, don't touch these dials. Don't touch them. Nothing.
Anyway, so like I mentioned
7
at the
years
beginning,
sober.
Yeah, at the beginning of this, Niskus interrupted me because I was just talking to Manuel casually. Jeffree Star and Gabby Hanna share the same thought that their fans are entitled.
Mm-hmm. Did he tweet it out and was like, "You're entitled," or
Yeah.
was there a video response?
No, he said that in a tweet.
In a tweet,
which
he just said-
of course he deleted.
Oh, was it in January or?
No, this
February?
was at the end of last year
Oh,
when
okay.
the conspiracy palette came out.
What did they criticize? The palette?
No, I
Or
think it was
the
like
website going down.
The website.
Yeah, and how long it was taking for this product to ship out and all that stuff.
And so he responded and was like, "You're just entitled. Like you need to understand that
Pretty
these
much.
things happen," which they do.
Which, yeah, and even if you sell out, at least put out a statement that, hey, we sold out. The people that didn't get their product, you're now on back order,
Oh, no,
and
no,
when
no,
we
I'm
restock,
sorry.
you'll get it.
No.
nothing.
So it was the shipping problem.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they get the shipping date, and they're not fulfilling the shipping dates, and some of them didn't even get them by the holidays.
Oh, that's
So
right.
They,
it was going in.
They
the
wanted
Christmas.
an apology,
Yeah.
like a more sincere apology, because he wasn't talking about it at all. He was just going on about, oh, here's my Christmas mystery boxes. No, so the whole problem with the mystery boxes was it was a typo from the market team. It was a flaw. And they said in the small box, you get one cosmetic item. But he had the stickers in there. They are not cosmetic.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the girl was upset about. Like, she made her criticism. He called her entitled. But then maybe a day or two after, he says, oh, well, it is our fault. I'm giving a full refund to everyone. But they still get to keep the boxes. But instead of just calling one of your faithful customers out like that and calling them entitled and that their opinion doesn't mean anything, just don't say anything and then follow through with your fulfillment of customer service by refunding or whatever.
But we're all human, and sometimes, emotions take over. Jeffree deserves a fifth chance. Come on. I say it jokingly because he has messed up in the past, and this would be like his fifth, sixth, I don't know, time.
Umpteenth. And then Gabby Hanna keeps fucking up left and right.
Gabby, she has a soft spot in my heart because she was part of the vlog squad at one point. And what did this girl say about the vlog squad and Gabby? That they ended in bad terms, or what did she say?
Gabby is, of course, saying nothing happened.
Right.
But they're all not friends with her anymore. But what's the reason? So it's just kind of like, okay, did nothing happen? Or are you not seeing something you did? Because she says she's a good person. Good people always say all the time that they're a good person.
You're not wrong, right? So, let's say David stops being friends with everybody, all the group, right? But he's not even friends with Nolan. He's not friends with anybody. And don't you think that's a little suspicious? But then when you ask David's like, nothing happened.
I would immediately think that he's evading the government and he's going off the grid.
I don't think that's what's happening with Gabby Hanna.
Oh, no, she's not smart enough to do that. She can't even count.
So, but you would think that's a little suspicious, right? It would seem suspicious.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
If there is a common theme or a certain pattern in your life, you need to evaluate, okay, is this something I'm doing? Or is it the kind of people I'm involving myself around that I'm just not clicking with? Or
the whole vlog squad?
What is it?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, man. What little I've seen of the vlog squad, all of them seem to be pretty insufferable to be around.
Yeah, but you don't like the quick cuts. That's so different.
I mean, well,
that's all they do.
That is all they do, and they're always just like, man. And even then, like when like candid footage, they're still like, man. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. If I had hair to lose, I would lose it being around you people. Just
it's too
hearing
much
their.
for you. I know.
I don't know if it's like their intensity or something. It's just like, dude, y'all need to stop. Put down the coffee or something.
It's not even that, dude.
Or maybe it's just because they're all like 22.
No, it's you.
I'm just old.
Yeah, but you've been like that 10 years ago. Like when you were not even old.
Yeah, it's just like, whoa, y'all need to. Wow.
I would put on Philip DeFranco for Nick, and he'd be like, I can't follow. And it's because he does cut in between every single thing.
Yeah, there's edits the way make it sound like it's a solid run-on sentence, nonstop, because people have such a.
It's just going.
It's the YouTube culture of they have such a ADD mindset that
short.
if you were to pause in between sentences, you'll
lose them.
Emphasis, yes, instantly you're going to lose them. So you have to constantly talk like this nonstop,
Goodness
over and
forbid
over.
if you catch your breath.
Yes, but
he does.
They do, but he edits out those breaths.
I just appreciate when they edit out their which I can tell they do it a lot because they'll be in the same sentence and their head is tilted this way, but it's just slightly tilted this way now. Mm-hmm. They cut on
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that because I don't want to hear every second.
If it's too much, it's too.
And another thing about that, Philip DeFranco, was his name Philip DeFranco?
Philip DeFranco.
I just thought, pull yourself away from the camera like 6 inches or something. Like, does he have to be like? Those
He's not even that cool.
Okay, I'm going to use an example. Like in cartoon, like half live action, like Woody Woodpecker or the Chipmunks or Garfield. Like if one of these CG characters starts like rapping and they always get up in the camera. It's like that watching these types of videos, especially like him. I was always like, Jesus, you're just a little too close. Just back up a bit. Your lighting is just fine. You're mic'd up. You sound great. Just back up a bit. I could feel like if I'm watching him on my TV, I could feel him breathing on me.
It's your preference, bro. Like I see no problem at all. Like zero.
Oh, okay.
But it's just preference. It's just preference. And I get the news from him. I'm sure you get it. Oh, you don't. Never mind.
No.
You don't like.
I do watch. There is one channel that does video game stuff like Philip DeFranco does,
but further away.
He's actually sitting at a desk and he's got like whatever it is he's going to talk about right there, and then I'm just like, oh, but he edits out his breaths and so he sounds like a run-on sentence, but he's actually like a comfortable distance away, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm watching the news.
You're like, I don't even get to see him. I just hear his voice.
To each their own.
Yep. To each their own.
See, like with Peter Mon, I can't watch his. I love him. I adore him, but I can't watch his vlogs anymore because I hear him.
No edits?
No.
No, man. Some of these vlogs are like 3 hours long sometimes.
His memory card or his camera stops at 23 minutes. So he knows when it's about to stop, and he says, oh, it's about to stop. Hold on. And that's the only edit. So he talks a lot, but he doesn't drink anytime or a lot of the time to replenish his mouth. But he'll do this or clicking sound, and I can't take it.
That's what okay.
I can't take it. It's so audibly loud, and I'm just, is it like that or like that? I can't do it. Hold on.
But you could, when some people talk for like a long time and eventually their voice morphs into something else, it sounds like this, but then they take one good swallow and it's like back to normal.
Yeah, I think it's just their vocals are getting a little dry.
Dang.
So the vibrations are being affected. That's what it was?
He'll fucking do that all the time. And I enjoyed his vlogs until I got fixated on that. Now I can't watch them.
Oh, okay. Forget the length, right? 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Hey, it helped my drive to work.
Yeah.
He went to Starbucks and I went to Starbucks too.
Man. But anyway, back to Gabby Hanna. she started calling her fans entitled when this whole Jessie Smiles stuff came up, and they wanted her to give some kind of apology or something, and whatever new drama she's in now, I don't care. I don't know.
It's Tuesday, so she's in
It's too much.
a different bowl of drama.
But now, apparently, she has given out a formal apology to something.
T-Girl better watch out because she... Oh, wait, no. Trisha was suing her. Never mind. Let's say she'll get sued.
Trisha was suing Gabby.
Gabby.
Oh, wow.
And then I think they dropped it. Or Gabby apologized.
Defamation of character. Mm-hmm. She said she had herpes when she didn't. So, yeah, that's the junk I've been watching.
Yeah.
But I do like this new girl. Her name is Hello Leash. L-E-E-S-H.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's a weird name.
She's very good.
It's not a nerf herder.
Oh, wow.
I think he finally sold his Blu-ray, so thank goodness.
I went and looked into it. I think he did.
Really?
At least all the American copies. There's only at the time that I looked, there were 2 left. Neither of them were from him. And then all the other DVDs were Japanese imports. You remember a couple of weeks ago when Sarah brought up that the Olympics is considering bringing in pole dancing?
Oh, yeah.
Stripper? Okay, we actually went after you had left. After that, we recorded that show. We went on YouTube and we watched a snippet of the pole dancing world championship. Bro, it is not erotic at all. This is like figurative dancing. That's like an art form, but there's a pole there. And it isn't like they're just dancing on the pole erotically the whole time. They're doing like really like Cirque du Soleil type of stuff.
Yeah, very
I saw
gymnastic.
some of it with you.
Yeah.
Because after the show, we did see some of it on
Oh,
YouTube.
you were here for that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We did watch some more.
Yeah, and so when I was watching it with Sarah, I was like, I wonder what like the criteria is depending on what you're doing. I wonder if you've got like a 7-minute set, if you've got to spend at least 5 minutes on the pole, and like every time you get on it, then the timer starts and all that sort of stuff. There's got to be
someone's just there.
there's got to be some sort of criteria, and then they just add it up to be like, yeah, in a 7-minute set, she was on the pole 4.5 minutes. Good.
So she qualifies.
And then there's tricks that you got to do up there, and I thought, damn. This could be an Olympic sport because that girl was put together.
She had no body fat on her. She was just all muscle.
I remember the one we saw, I think, was African American.
Yeah, that's the one.
She was, that was very impressive.
Yeah. So, what's going on in your life? You recently told us that you're getting a new couch. You got a new couch.
I pulled the trigger last night. They did the 5-year special thing, and I'm like, that's fine. I'll just do the 5-year thing, take it easy, pay it off as we go, you know? So we had to move the old couches into the other little house and then put their electrical. 4 of them are recliners, so and they're electrical, so you have to hook them up, put them. But Madison has this like vision for the living room, and yeah.
So you pulled the trigger last night. Mm-hmm. Them guys delivered it today.
They literally. What time do you think they got there?
Probably just a little bit before you sent him the picture.
At 8:30
p.m.
That's what time they arrived. Yeah. When I sent you the picture, they had just left.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Their time frame was from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Wow.
Like, yeah, we'll deliver tomorrow. I was like, what time? They're like, tomorrow. I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. I work from home.
Yeah.
So I looked at the paperwork, and the time window said 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. They got there at 8:30.
Wow.
That's so weird, man. That a furniture store would even be open at such an hour.
It's just the delivery people,
and especially the delivery people. Like, God.
And then I cheaped out. Like, there was $300 for the installation and delivery, or $50 to just deliver it. And I'm like, do they at least put it inside the house? And they're like, yeah. And sure, that's all they did. They put them inside the house, boxes, styrofoam, like all of it. You should go see the back of my truck.
And they were like, deuce. And they were gone.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So I had to open them.
You're like, as soon as they showed up, Madison was setting up a pot of tea. It wasn't even done yet. They were out the door and they were gone.
No, and I just said I had to open them, but I actually was still at work. So Madison and her friend that was there with her had to open them. And
So obviously assembly is required.
I just moved them to the side, put like half of one together, and I'll do the rest later.
Oh God! Well, I hope it was worth. I hope it does become worth it because when you sent us the product picture of what it's supposed to look like, it looks pretty impressive.
It's huge.
It looks huge. Yeah. How are the kids doing that you had to adopt, or that you did adopt?
Yeah, no, they're doing good. They were a big help with the moving parts, because now we've got two pair of extra hands, you know?
Yeah. Have they seen anything
Oh my gosh, I meant to tell you this last week.
in your house that may or may not be haunted?
No, so I didn't say anything to them, not a word, because I wanted to see how they would react. And so the second night that they were there, the youngest one came up to me and said, "Hey, do you guys hear weird things?" And I was like, "What? Why?" Like, I didn't say no, I didn't say yes. And he says, "Well, last night we felt like somebody was at the door and they kept like
At their bedroom door.
at their bedroom door, like tapping it. And so I got up several times and nothing." I was like, "Well," and Jose was like just looking at me, and I was like, sometimes there are noises, but nothing concrete, nothing crazy." I was like, we don't really know. And they were like, "Okay," because I didn't want to scare them. 3 days later, the oldest one comes by and he's like, "This place is haunted."
Oh, shit.
And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because last night we both heard it, but it was on top of me." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "So this is what I heard." And he said he felt the literal wind on his cheek.
Hell no.
But he heard like
Hell
that.
no.
Well, they both heard it. And I said, "Oh, I don't think they like you, because I've never felt that." And so
Manuel.
after that, last night, no, what's today? Today's Thursday. So I get my days mixed up. But over the weekend, they said to me, they were like, "Did you guys hear a kid cry last night?" I'm like,
Oh,
I said, no. What are you talking about? I was like, "I was watching TV late." He's like, "At 4?" And I was like, "Not that late."
Manuel,
he
that's
said-
a fucking demon, dude.
He said it was they both, because he heard it. He woke the other one up, and they said there was a kid in the hallway crying.
That is a fucking demon.
wow.
I started looking at some things, and in correlation with this stuff, Madison wakes up with a bunch of bruises and scratches all the time, like all the time. And no, not when we're active. Like,
And it's not because of an iron deficiency on her part?
I mean, it might be a little bit.
I mean, maybe.
all the time.
Unless you guys record yourselves at night and, like, I don't know, maybe you'll
Her
see
and I
her.
are both fair skinned, so it's like an easy scratch can leave a red mark, or we bruise easily just by bumping into something.
Where are these bruises? Like, are they on her arms or legs?
Inside of the thigh sometimes, on her calf, on her hands, and near her elbows. It's just different times,
Do they
different
have
places.
a type of formation look?
It's always circle.
Oh, just like generic
Yeah.
circular bruises.
Yeah,
that could
I'm
be
gonna
from
start
anything.
taking pictures, and so I can show you guys. But I started reading and telling different people that have experienced things like this, and one of them said that the witches like to suck on certain people. And my mom said that my aunt, her littlest sister, she's the oldest, my mom's the oldest, her littlest sister, when she was growing up, there was a witch that would come and she would wake up with bruises and scratches because the witch liked to not suck her blood, but like suck on her in a certain way.
Yeah.
I mean, her energy.
Her whatever it is that they do, because it does happen. Apparently, the witches are real, and the only way to undo this or to stop them, because the witches are scared from, is putting scissors underneath the bed. I don't know the meaning or anything like that, but I don't want to do it. But maybe that'll stop some of this. I don't know.
Like, you're thinking if you put a pair of scissors under Madison's side of the bed and then give it like 10 days, the bruises go away and no new ones are there.
If that happens, I'm gonna lose it. Like, I shouldn't have to put scissors under her bed.
Man, you heard there was a kid crying in your hallway, bro.
You need to take care of that.
What I don't understand is, like, I didn't hear it. I didn't, like, I
Well,
was
of
like,
course you're not going to hear
Because
it.
it's only communicating with them.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because
That's scary.
I asked Madison.
Can you imagine if one of them had set up their phone and like put it near the bottom of the door? And like, what do you hear? Like, oh, I'm hearing someone crying in the hallway, and then they were like, Manuel, I have this audio that I want you to listen to.
Just tell me what you hear, and then they play it, and I lose it.
And you hear a child crying. Like, what would you do?
I hear Laurel.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
It's like, no, I heard Yanny.
Oh, God. I forgot all
I
about
don't understand that.
I don't either. I heard Laurel. It said Laurel.
At the same time it's saying Laura, it sounds like Yanny.
It never sounded like Yanny.
I've never listened to it. I thought it was stupid.
Oh, okay. When he played it to me,
I wonder what this year will be.
he was like, Nick, what do you think this is? I was like, it's a voice saying Laurel. It sounds like, Laurel from, and I associated with Arrow. I was like, there's a character named Laurel. They say her name all the time. That sounds like Laurel. And he was like, it's saying Yanny. And I was like, get the hell out of here. It's not saying Yanny.
And that poor actress, it's not to criticize her, but she really needed a cookie.
Oh, yeah. The girl
She
that
was
plays.
so skinny.
She is very,
She
very
was probably vegan to the max.
So without telling the boys,
They figured it out.
this is what's going on.
How long did it take? 3 weeks?
Not even, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because this was last weekend.
Oh, my God.
No, but there's no cross or anything.
They don't have any, they don't
Rosary.
believe in any sort of like protection.
No, they do. They believe in God, Jesus, but no, they don't have a picture, portrait, cross, or anything. No, and I don't think so. I don't think I have it either.
I've never seen one in your house, but I've also never gone spelunking into like the bedrooms in the back, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, we don't have any. But my parents used to. When we would stay with my parents, they did. They had it all like everywhere, and so. Literally today when I told my mom about the kid, she told me about the scissors, and I was like, that's black magic. Like that, we can't fight that with this. Like we shouldn't be doing that because the Bible teaches us that we should pray to God, and that should be what breaks the chains. But that's what people do all the time. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you need the egg, or oh, okay, yeah, you need the scissors, or whatever.
Yeah.
That could just be a simple form of exorcism of sorts, not necessarily black magic.
Have you made any calls and asked around through the proper channels of religion? Hey, I'm asking for a friend. If something like this was happening, what would you recommend?
No, we did the oil, and it was
Saged already.
What is the oil?
Also in the Bible, Jesus used the oil to sanctify a home and to kind of, I guess, basically
Like bless the home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not with holy water.
This one was oil. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so y'all have already done that, and then
Yeah.
y'all saged the house. I remember hearing about that, and it doesn't. I think it's going to take it up to the next level.
I think, yeah, it's like when you take an Advil, but an axe opened your head, so you're like, no, I don't think this Advil's going to do it.
Yeah,
We need
you've already
stitches.
laid down the pesticide around the house. The problem is they're inside the floors, bro.
They're inside
Like,
the house.
Now they can't leave the exterior of the home. Like, now you got to just purge this mother.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me nervous talking like about it because it's like I want it not to be there, but hopefully it doesn't escalate, But if it starts scratching them or something, then yeah, we got to do something.
Yeah. Oh man, that is
Because then we started the conversation about like that there's some like demons, ghosts, whatever, this paranormal stuff. It doesn't like certain people, and when you go not to my house, to anybody's house, and that kind of stuff happens, like my grandparents' house, me, my dad, my brothers, we would all stay there, and then my uncle and his family would stay there. It'd be just fine. But then my other uncle, my dad has 8 siblings. My dad's brother went and slept there with his family for the first time in like ever, and then they went over there to Mexico. And when they stayed there, that armoire moved forward and started like jumping up and down on its own.
And this in Mexico?
Yep. And they were like, the word scared is not even it. Like they were petrified.
I don't
Like,
know what I would
out
do
of
if
that
I
room.
ever
Yeah.
saw a piece of furniture move.
So they walk out, like my uncle walks out, goes and checks whatever the thing's in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
and then they all slept together.
Yeah. Other than sleeping in the street or in your car, yeah, sleeping together is probably the next best thing.
And I've slept in that room, Robert and I. Nothing.
Nothing happened.
Nothing.
God, it just reminds me of that scene in The Exorcist where it's when the mother goes in there and she gets smacked around by the daughter, and then like the help runs upstairs to try to like, oh my God, I gotta help you. The door slams shut, so she can't get in. So the mother is trapped in there with Reagan, and then all of a sudden, like the armoire starts coming towards the mother, and she's like, oh shit, and she's trying to get away. Like I remember seeing that and just being totally scared. And I knew even as a child that like from this moment, this was the bad idea. and I had to finish it because I was like under pressure to finish it as a kid. And I knew, I was like, this is only going to get worse because this is not the climax of this halfway through the movie and this is happening.
And he hasn't even learned in adulthood.
No, I have not learned it. Yeah, we can get into that here in a little bit. Yeah, did you know
there's an
like
armoire there?
Yeah, in Reagan's bedroom.
Is there a connection to that?
Oh, I don't know. I just figured it was visually scary for...
Because it's a big, heavy piece of furniture.
It is.
Yeah.
Moving on its
You can
own.
hear it just
right,
move
that's
over
why-
the wood, and you're just like, okay, if she's having a seizure on the bed, that might answer the question of why is the bed jumping? You know, she's complaining that, Mommy, the bed's moving. And it's like, well, you're having seizures, honey. The bed is going to move. But no, the girl's sitting on the bed, mother's laying on the floor, and she looks up, and the armoire is coming towards her like it's going to crush her.
No, I meant like, is there a connection with the armoires? Because that's what moved in that room. And that room has been known to have activity, but with only a certain amount of people, like only certain people.
I have no idea if there's any type of
Remember
connection.
Annabelle came out of the armoire? Or that's where the doll went into and the devil was holding Annabelle?
God. Yeah, you know, I think it just has something to do with it's just visually creepy.
But that actually happened, like in real life.
Yeah.
Like, that's what scared them. And to Lily, too, my niece, when they went, they scared them. Because Lily's blood family, but the other two girls are just stepdaughters. Mm-hmm. You know? I don't know.
Man. Sarah, how have you been in the week that we've been gone?
Been good.
What happened?
Sally's snoring again. Where is she?
She is. I can't hear her in the
Oh,
mic.
she's over there.
Oh, and she's snoring loudly.
See, Manuel, it can't be you because our cats love you.
Oh.
They gravitate towards you.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she was in the next room and she was snoring loudly. She was way over here, actually. And it was yesterday. We're watching The Office or something. We heard Sally from across our large living room over the TV that was turned up to 30. And I was like, what is that weird sound? I thought it was like a car outside by the high
serious?
school. And
we're serious.
Sarah was like, I think that's your fat cat. And not like I paused the TV and we just hear Sally snoring. And I was like, wow. And
That's a
then
good
recently,
sleep.
just now today, we looked up why is she snoring so loud? And what did you find out? What did your results yield?
It does depend on how they're sleeping, but it could also be because they're overweight and they're blocking out their nasal cavity.
And so then we looked at Sally's like, how is she sleeping? Like a ball, like a normal cat. She's just fat. And it is super cute to hear them snore. I was like, oh man, they're enjoying that nap.
So cute. But yeah, the week's been okay. Of course, at the time of this recording, Valentine's Day has long since passed.
Yes.
It was a busy weekend. We actually tried the heart-shaped pizza from Papa John's.
You know, someone else said they tried that. How was it?
It was good. It was a thin crust.
Okay.
So you literally just cut into 2 or 3 slices and you're done.
We didn't realize it was going to be so small. It was about the size of like maybe slightly smaller than a medium.
It's only one size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
When she got it, I was like, oh, cool. I thought it was a large pizza, you know, but I don't think I've ever had a heart-shaped pizza before, so I didn't know what to expect. And then when she said it was thin crust, I said, say what?
Yeah.
Thin crust.
How many toppings? It just comes in pepperoni.
What was your half? It was like veggies.
Y'all
or
cut
something.
the heart in half? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Did y'all
Yeah.
take a picture?
No.
No, we didn't take a picture of it.
That-
I
I
had
didn't.
tomato and spinach.
Yeah, and my half was meatball.
Oh, okay. I love tomato on pizza. That's good stuff.
So yeah, that was pretty good. Live.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We celebrate 2 years together.
There you go. Boom.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's already been 2?
Time has flown by.
Because according
Sorry,
to
I'm at a loss for words. But yeah.
because according to the embezzlement papers that I've been putting together, it's only been like a year and a half.
I'm kidding. Like 6 months plus 6 months.
That's a
Wow.
year.
Well, congratulations. Wow.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so to, celebrate, obviously we couldn't do anything today because we're recording. So we're going to do something later this week or something.
Or we can consider the weekend what it was. That's fine.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. But what I did over the time that we were gone is I looked at, how I've been going through these movie franchises with multiple installments of editions that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't do a horror movie franchise this week. I did 2 separate franchises that had installments that I'd never seen. One of which being Aladdin 2 and 3, and then Home Alone 3, 4, and 5.
Aladdin 2 is Return of Jafar.
Yes.
And 3 is...
The King of Thieves.
The King of Thieves. That's Aladdin's dad, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So have either of you seen either of these movies?
I believe I've seen Return of Jafar and King of Thieves once. And Home Alone, what?
3, 4, and 5.
I did not see 3, 4, and 5. No, and that was just at a protest.
Sarah, have you seen any of these movies before?
I've seen the Aladdin movies.
Okay.
I used to have them on VHS.
Nice, because I was about to ask, I was like, how long ago is he? Yeah, and yeah, VHS was still a thing.
VHS.
Yeah. So obviously I skipped the first Aladdin and the first 2 Home Alones because I've seen them many times in my life. So I was like, okay, let me just skip to the sequels that I've never seen. I watched these Aladdin movies on Disney Plus. Aladdin 2 and 3 I did enjoy overall. There are parts of each one that kind of counterbalance the other. Like one has a better story than the other one. The other one has better voice acting than the other one. Both of which have pretty lame songs. I didn't really enjoy them. So in part 2, I really liked that we got to spend a lot of time with Iago. And that voice actor returned for 2 and 3, whatever his name is. You know, you don't like his voice.
I don't. And it's really because I saw him
Godfrey.
in
there you go.
Gilbert
Yeah.
Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried.
So I saw him in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
He was in that show?
And he terrified me ever since.
What did he do?
He just played himself in his creepy ass voice.
Damn.
Wow. I don't know how long I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark growing up, but I don't remember that at all.
He does have a...
It's
such
11/11, y'all. Make a wish.
Make a wish, man. That I don't ever have to watch these movies again that are called Home Alone.
Free my home of all of...
So, in The Return of Jafar, we spend a lot of time with Iago, and he actually got to sing a song, which was super weird. Also, Jafar got to sing a song.
That voice?
Yes, it did not go over well. And when Jafar was singing his song, it was like they were trying to do what they did with Scar from Lion King, but with his accent and the way Jafar carries himself, it didn't work at all. Like, these songs are not really all that good.
Jafar's in both of them?
No, he was just in the second one.
Oh,
because
okay.
he definitively gets defeated.
In the second one?
Yeah.
What happens?
The lamp actually...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. Jafar dies. If you destroy the lamp that the genie is held inside...
Without being freed?
Yeah, without being freed, you destroy the lamp, the genie dies. Or gets vaporized. And that's what happened. Because I was like, damn, I don't think they're going to win this fight. Because he is destroying everything. And then they just defeated him.
So what happens? Because at the end of Aladdin, the first Aladdin, they put him in the genie thing. He becomes a genie. They throw the lamp away. So I'm assuming they find the lamp.
Yeah. I think it was found down at the bottom of a well when these guys were trying to get water or something.
And then does he, whenever they rub the lamp, does he grant the wishes? Or
he came out, and obviously this guy named Abismal, which you put his names together as Abysmal. So
wow.
He's the one, yeah, they're very subtle with their names. He's the one that Jafar was granting wishes to. And his third wish was like, I will make you very rich, but you need to make me like free or something from this or whatever. But anyway, Jafar gets defeated. Iago becomes like a good guy, bad guy. Mm-hmm. He's kind of snooty, but he's a good guy. And he was like, I was under the influence of Jafar. I'm really not a bad guy. Obviously, Robin Williams was missed in this movie. The voice of Homer Simpson was the genie. And bless him, dude, he tried. There was I got a lot of giggles, right? And there was one genuine laugh in there. But the guy who's Homer Simpson, at his 100, only matches Robin Williams if Robin was at 50%.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good Robin is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they could let the Homer Simpson riff on it because he's not Robin Williams. And, the voice acting was probably a little bit better in part 2 than 3, but obviously you didn't have Robin. So then when you go into The King of Thieves, you got Robin back.
Did you really?
But now the writing is not as good. Like, each one, the writing declines a bit. Mm-hmm. And the story for part 2 was better than part 3. You got Robin back, but because the writing is not up to par, he doesn't have like the creative freedom to do what he did. And it was just kind of like, go buy this VHS because Robin Williams is the genie again. And again, everything that the genie does was pretty funny to, I got a lot of giggles, but I just wish that genie did more. Yeah. That the writing was better. I do think that the King of Thieves was the worst animated out of the 3 because it really felt like that was the level of quality that was for the Aladdin television show.
I was just
That
about
ultimately
to say for
followed.
the cartoon.
Yeah, and that's really what it looked like. All the colors were much darker on everybody, and that really is what made it feel like this was for TV. If you want to go and watch Aladdin 2 and 3, not bad. It's okay. But then, if you feel like you want to go through the Home Alone movies and get beyond part 2, I don't think you should. Like, this was... This was pretty hard.
I don't want to. I want to say I maybe even started part 3, and that's when I took protest.
Yeah. Off the top, I gotta say 3, 4, and 5. I did not laugh one time.
Oh wow!
And so for a movie that's supposed to have comedy and like Three Stooges type of like slapstick comedy, that's a problem. I did not like the little kid in part 3. The writing was bad. The acting was bad. Did part 3 go to theaters?
Yeah,
It did.
I want to say yeah.
See, I want to say it did too, but I honestly can't remember. I watched that one on Disney Plus, and I was so excited to like get into this. I was like, dude, it's on Disney Plus. I could easily just get away with this one. Thank God Sarah was asleep through all of these movies, especially in part 4. Like, had she watched...
Was part 4 in space?
No. Had Sarah watched me watch part 4, I would have been probably the most embarrassed that I've ever been watching these things.
Marv and the other guy, are they in these movies?
Yeah, okay. So
About that.
Part 3 was bad. It was lame. It had to do with like a microchip that was in a remote control car that these, I don't know if they were terrorists, wanted to steal it. It was dumb. It was so dumb. You go into part 4, they bring back Kevin, but it's not Macaulay Culkin, and this kid is visibly younger than where we last saw Kevin McAllister. I don't know how that happened. So that's one. They brought back Kevin.
So Kevin McAllister's back, but it's not.
It's not him, and he's much younger. And it's not like this is a prequel movie, because Marv is back. Marv is back. He's not with Harry. Marv
but not
is,
Harry.
No Harry. They've recast him, and I looked up what he did. He's the guy from Third Rock from the Sun that had his eyes closed. He was like, whatever actor that is. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Danny DeVito?
No, not Danny DeVito. The movie then would have been interesting for me. I'd have been like, dude, that's Danny DeVito. But no, Marv is back. He's married. He's no longer with Harry, and they're trying to rob Kevin's home or some home. Anyway, Kevin's parents are also divorced.
What?
And they're 8 months. The divorce is not final. And Kevin's dad is now going to be engaged to his hot new girlfriend, and they're going to spend the weekend at his girlfriend's father's mansion.
They look so solid in part 2.
They did look so solid for part 2. The only interesting thing about part 4 was, are Kevin's parents going to get back together? Because they clearly love each other. You could see it when like the two parents had chemistry. Nobody else in this movie did. And the set of the mansion felt like a soundstage that they didn't have the money to put furniture in. I was like, why is every room in this mansion so fucking empty? And I could swear to you, outside of the living room and the kitchen, if they ever went into a bedroom, that it was the same bedroom dressed differently each time. So it's like, okay, we're going to shoot all the scenes in this bedroom today, and then we'll just make the edits whenever we need to.
What about Uncle Frank?
No other family members come, but Scarlett Johansson, a baby Scarlett Johansson, plays Kevin's older sister.
Wow.
I'm talking baby, bro. She's like
This is in part
12
4.
or 13. Yeah, this is like in part 4.
I feel like we should play clips of like Captain America or just a Scarlett Johansson clip.
Yeah.
When he's like, do you really want to punch your way out of this one?
Yeah. So
That's Scarlett.
when I watched part 4, it was not on a streaming service. I had to watch it bootlegged on YouTube at a compressed version of it, so it wasn't good.
Before I leave, make sure that I've set up your thing.
Oh no, I didn't use it.
No, I know, but let me set it up.
You want to try to set it up?
Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So Manuel had tried to hook me up with this third-party app that would have allowed me to watch these things, right? And Sarah sat next to me as I was having this trouble with this app because, of course, I'm going to have problems with it.
Did you give her the phone?
No, she just. I was like, look, I uninstalled it, I reinstalled it, and immediately took me to this.
He does that. Like I'm like, let me see, and he's like, what button do you want me to press?
'Cause
I'm like,
I
just
wanna
let me
do
see.
it.
And he's like,
No, he doesn't want anyone touching his phone.
I don't understand that yet.
Okay, well,
He's like, this is my fucking property. You're just gonna look at it.
we will reinstall the app, and you will see that I immediately get hit with this, like, you don't have a code. I'm like, well, of course I don't
Just
have a
click
code. You haven't
off
sent
of
me-
it.
And nothing happened. I did. I was like, look, nothing's happened.
See,
Anyway,
even if he were to give it to me, it's still his phone. It still wouldn't have worked right.
it would not, because
And now I
Because
sometimes
it's his phone.
I
because-
sometimes have his curse.
through proxy,
Oh.
she's now getting cursed by the black cloud of tech that, anyway.
Hence eBay.
She's outside of the cloud, and you're like,
Yeah. So when I got through part 4, I was like, all right, I need to watch part 5, and the app that you set me up with was not going to happen. And so I was like, well, let me find it on YouTube. I found a version that was even more compressed than the version for part 4, and the audio was not synced right.
no.
So I was like, okay, this is not going to work. So then I found a third-party website that had it ripped from somewhere. It was from ABC Family. But the problem was, this was one of those websites that if you touch anything on the screen,
The pop-up.
the pop-ups come up. And it just and I was like, if I could get through these, and if I just touch it to play, it will play. But I had to navigate this minefield of pop-ups. And in one of these pop-ups, as I was turning my phone horizontal, it reshifted that little square of the pop-up for allow or block. I accidentally hit allow.
No.
And then immediately it was just butt cheeks, women's breasts. And it was
Live
just like,
near you,
yes,
located.
these women that are just like messaging me out of nowhere. And I was like, God damn it. So I may or may not have a virus on my phone because I was trying to illegally watch Home Alone 5.
He allowed those cookies.
I did. I was like,
That's not a. Get yourself some
oh my
cookies.
God, it was so awful.
Honey.
And once I got it to work, it did work. It played flawlessly on this third-party website, wherever this thing was.
Wow.
Part 5 is pretty bad, but it feels like it was legitimately made for television, so they at least respected it enough and had the money to dress the sets appropriately. It's not funny. At least to me, it wasn't funny. But compared to 3 and 4, it was the closest thing because it at least made me smile one time, and that's more than the other two did. Malcolm McDowell is in part 5.
Who is that?
He was in Clockwork Orange. He was also Dr. Loomis in the remake of Halloween's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, Dr. Loomis is here. Fucking A, let's go. And he was the bad guy. And
I was gonna say, what does he play?
They were
The
trying to
bad guy?
steal some lost painting that was in a safe. It was basically Ant-Man, but you got to get through this metal safe to get whatever inside, whatever. It was not good, but if you feel the need to get
Who's
through...
the kid?
Alex, I think is his name.
So Kevin's
It's not
gone.
Kevin.
It's
Yeah.
not Max.
Yeah,
It's okay.
it's not Kevin. Going through all of this trouble that I had to watch these 4 movies, I gotta say, part 4 is easily the worst out of all of them because I've sat through a lot of every franchise that I've gone through up to this point of horror or whatever. There's one film in each franchise that gives you a good slap to the face, and I've usually just taken it in stride, been like, I deserve this. This is what I'm getting myself into. This was the first time in all these movies that I've watched that when I got slapped in the face by Home Alone 4, I actually replied back with, how dare you? Because what they did to Kevin McAllister, they made his parents get a divorce. They brought back Marv. Like, how fucking dare you do this to these characters after we last saw them in part 2?
It was the whatever they could get, they got, and they're like, just put it in the blender. Just come on.
Oh my God. I felt insulted watching movies, but this one really, like that. It's like they slapped me, but they turned their ring on the inside, and then they left a scar on my cheek.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was my navigating through these movies. I don't know what I'm gonna watch next week. I'm looking at Jaws. I don't know.
You're eyeing Jaws.
Yeah,
Every time somebody says Jaws, all I think is we're gonna need a bigger boat.
that's a good thing to think about.
When I think of Aladdin, certain things come up, but for some reason, always the scene of I can't believe it, I'm losing to a rug. It just always comes to mind.
Yeah,
Out of everything.
yeah. There were some good jokes when the King of Thieves was in the palace and the genie found out. He went overboard and he got security of other genies to come in, like a SWAT team, and they all had their guns pointed and they surrounded the guy. And he got on the megaphone and he goes, "Now don't move, because if you do, we will all shoot each other." And I was like, "That's genuinely funny because you guys will shoot each
You're
other."
bunched up, yeah.
Yeah, it's just stupid stuff like that Robin Williams did.
Did you guys hear about the certain little messages or subliminal messages that are in the Disney movies?
I've heard about it in the past.
But like the one in Aladdin, like right now I'm thinking, I can't believe it, I'm losing to a rug. But when he's the little bee in Aladdin's ear,
Yeah.
remember he's like giving him lines or whatever.
Yeah.
If you actually turn it up on the original video, he tells Jasmine to take her clothes off.
What?
He literally says that. No, is it the genie or Aladdin?
There's no way Genie would say that, and there's no way Robin would record a line like that.
Okay, it is Aladdin. When Genie's talking to him in his ear as a bee, he's like, I don't know, the compliment her hair, her eyes, they're beautiful or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then he says, because he's telling her something to get comfortable, and then there's a take your clothes off. Whispered.
In non-news news, did you know that being too happy might kill you?
Yay!
It's just.
This was a question I had weeks ago.
Everyone cheers if you're too happy. But there's a slim chance that it could happen. Back in 2016, Swiss researchers at the University Hospital in Zurich found that it wasn't just sadness that caused the, let me see if I can say this, Takotsubo syndrome, which is a broken heart syndrome. It turns out happy moments such as milestones like birthdays, weddings, can also cause a sudden weakness of the heart muscles. They analyzed data from 485 patients from 9 countries and found the syndrome was this syndrome was sparked in 96% by sad situations like loss of loved ones and relationship problems. But then 4% experienced the same conditions because of joyous occasions. The majority of those diagnosed with the syndrome were women. The rare syndrome is brought on by an increase of stress hormones in the person's system and is usually treatable. The symptoms include shortness of breath and chest pain that mimics a heart attack. So, if you were to win the lottery, it could kill you.
I've always thought about like hitting the jackpot, like at a casino or something. Like if I got lucky, you know,
Yeah.
and because
would you live to see the day when you cash that check?
I'm like, I think I would just fall over, but like eventually get back up. But like, I don't know what I really don't know what I would do if I hit it and they're like, okay, that is times 35, so you just won $37,000.
Like, what do you do with that?
Yeah, what? No, there's money owed, but
Yeah.
like still $37,000 that you. Some people work 2 years to get that kind of money. 2 years.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
My friend does taxes, so he's like, yeah, this person makes $12,000 a year. I'm like, how the do you live off of $1,000 every month?
God, I don't even know if I was making. There was no way I was making that little money working at Walmart.
I was when I was waiting tables.
No, at Walmart, I'm sure you were making 18 or 20. Like, that makes sense. Like, you know.
What are you doing when you get earning 12? Is that like a level entry job at a fast food joint and you're the rookie?
It's gotta be part-time or something. You can't. $12,000 a year? You can't live off of that.
I mean, I did back in the day.
$1,000 a month?
I was living at home.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I had a car note that was $180.
If that was the only thing that you had, yeah.
Right.
That's it.
No, like you having your own place,
Yeah, you can't
your
do that as an adult
transportation,
now.
You know she's never seen Road Trip?
What?
That's exactly what I said. I showed her Can't Hardly Wait the other day for the first time.
Okay, that
It
one
was a
I didn't
typical
finish.
millennium movie.
Yeah. Did you at least... What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
It was okay.
Or was I seeing it through rose-colored lenses?
That.
Maybe
It was
Road
so
Trip is
typical.
also... Road Trip is not great, but it is cool.
It may not be great. It's been years
yeah.
since I've seen it. And there's what, 3 road trips? Or is it just
2.
that and Euro Trip? That's it?
I thought just Euro Trip and Road Trip.
Oh, okay.
Euro Trip is the one with Tom, right? Or Green?
Yeah. He's not in the first one? No, I guess he's not. Okay. So how many American Pies spinoffs are there?
Oh my!
Is there like
that's? You know what? You probably forgot to mention American Pie in those movies.
I did, because I know there's at least 4 in the series. There's the 3 and then the American Reunion.
No, bro.
But then there's like 4 spin-off movies.
There's like 7 at least.
Yeah. God damn it.
Let me check that cool movie app I was trying to hook you up with.
It didn't work. I'm telling you, it just didn't work. But see, I got that far, and then when I clicked something, it was like, oh, to watch the movie, you got to sign in with your code. And I'm like, I don't have a code.
No, Nick.
Also, in Manhattan, New York, there is a tiny museum housed in a New York freight elevator that specializes in the overlooked, dismissed, and ignored. The tiny space features rotating and permanent collections. It offers a unique opportunity to engage with familiar and exotic everyday objects from around the world. Past exhibits featured personal possessions found in the Pacific, paper found in the copying machines, and homemade weapons of defense. Other objects included a shoe that was thrown at George W. Bush at the minister's palace in Baghdad, a hot water coil from Kaunas, Lithuania, and a plastic glove from Paradise Valley, Montana. In 2018, a small gift shop was also added in a window a few feet down and to the right. The museum only fits 3 people inside at a time. So the image that I saw, it was just a freight elevator, and the 3 interior walls are lined with lights with shelves on display, and there's just random things in there. And I don't know, is the elevator functional? It didn't say, but that was my immediate thought. I was like, does this thing just go up and down, or is it out of order and it just sits there? Yeah. So if we ever find ourselves in New York, Sarah, I want to go to this little, they call it the museum.
Me too.
There's 8.
There's 8 American pies.
There's American Pie,
Yeah.
1999. American Pie 2, 2001. American Wedding, 2003.
I forgot about wedding. I thought it was just 3.
American Pie Presents Bandcamp, 2005. And then there's American Pie Presents The Book of Love, 2009. Oh, before 2009, there's American Pie Beta House, 07. Then 09 is The Book of Love. And
Wow.
then 2012, American Reunion.
And that was the last one.
2012.
Wow. And even that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I forgot the American Pie and the Naked Mile. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
2006.
There was a Naked Mile. God. So there's 9 of these.
8. No, that was 8.
There was just 8. Okay. All right, Sarah. What happened in the great land of Canada?
Canada.
There you go, Canada. That's how they said it.
Who?
No, he says Canada. Yeah, Canada. And Jim says Canada. So a new, quote, Reaper of Death tyrannosaur discovered in Canada. Paleontologists discovered a new species of tyrannosaur that roamed the earth 79.5 million years ago. It's one of the oldest ever found in North America and is directly linked to Tyrannosaurus rex.
Mm-hmm.
It was apparently inspired by Thanatos, the Greek god of death, and Therystis, one who reaps or harvests. Tyrannosaurs were large predator dinosaurs that lived tens of millions of years ago, like I stated.
Mm-hmm.
This new species was 26 to 30 feet long and weighed 2 tons.
So that's like the average weight of like a standard car.
It's 2,000 pounds.
It's 2 tons, right? Isn't that what the average car weighs? Not my car, or maybe your car. My car, definitely not. It's too small.
I don't know why, but it was one of those weird numbers when I was a kid. When you say a ton, well, 2 tons is 4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So they said a ton is 2,000. It just stuck with me.
Yeah.
I think it's because they say that that's an average size of an elephant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess that sounds right. An elephant's pretty big, yeah.
So the fact that it's that large,
It weighs the weight of 1 elephant.
2.
2.
Oh, 2?
2.
God damn.
It didn't say how tall it was. It just said how long it got.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's almost like a velociraptor, but a little bigger.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So he's kind of like the size of like what the T-Rex would be. So what does he have, like longer arms or something?
It did.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess it would be the size of a T-Rex, but it would just be like a raptor.
Yeah.
God damn, that's horrible.
I know. John DeGroot found the fossil skull fragments while hiking near his farm near Hayes, Alberta. It's like, I like how people just find things when hiking. Like, they find dead bodies all the time by doing that.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And this is a quote, "We are thrilled to announce the first new species of tyrannosaur to be discovered in Canada in 50 years.
Nice.
Which was said by Francois, the curator of dinosaur paleoecology.
First time in 50 years?
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody was asking questions.
Ooh. And then I have one more story.
Okay.
I also sent it to you that they're thinking about redoing Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I remember you talked about that maybe it was like in November or December.
No, this was just last week, honey.
Really? I could have sworn like that idea had been floated out there and you'd heard about it months ago.
No, just last week.
Tim Burton?
So Movie Hole has been told by a source who they assure has given them credible and reliable information in the past that Disney's looking to capitalize on their everlasting popularity of The Nightmare Before Christmas by making a new film based on the classic Halloween Christmas top motion masterpiece. In the tipster's words, the studio is hoping to, quote, do something with Nightmare Before Christmas, probably a sequel, but live action possible.
Ooh, a live action one?
That pisses me off so much.
Wow.
Movie Hole stresses that this doesn't mean Disney's actively discussing a live action remake, which would seem an ill fit for the story, but that we should take this as a sign that they're keen to approach a new film from any angle, which likely means they're serious about wanting to get something together. Movie Hole's report doesn't mention this, but presumably Tim Burton would be involved in the project. Famously, he didn't actually direct the original movie. It was directed by Henry Selick, but of course he created the story and the characters.
Yeah.
So I hope Tim Burton would say no.
To a live action version.
Yeah. It's one of its most successful movies that has not been needed to be retouched or remade for any
If it ain't
reason.
broke, don't fix it.
Thank you.
But they did that to the Karate Kid, so
Yeah.
everybody's dreams get shattered.
I don't even know, like, visually, what would you, if you were to do a live action Nightmare Before Christmas, how do you even approach that? Do you go over the top CG like Oz, the Great and Powerful? That movie had so much CG that you might as well just made a CG movie.
Yeah.
Like, is that what you do?
They
Well,
just
you
need
have-
to do stop animation again.
Yeah, I know. But of course, nowadays they could animate with a computer to make it look like clay and however they did it way back in the day. You don't have to animate a movie like that nowadays.
Yeah, but you should.
I mean, you should. I mean, that's what they did with Coraline, right?
Coraline, Box Trolls.
Yeah.
But the Minions already makes a lot of money, and they weren't,
I mean, when they were original CG creations.
I know.
Manuel, how did you feel about new T-Rex being discovered in Canada?
It's the monster. It's the creation that came out in Jurassic World.
Yeah, the Reaper of Death. It is just like that.
You're talking about the Indominus Rex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
exactly
That's
what that
exactly
is.
what you described.
God damn. Yeah, it is.
So what do I think of it? Welcome to 2020. Say hi to 2015, 16.
Hi.
Manuel, do you have a story for us? Do
I do.
you have a story to tell?
And I'm going to kick it off with a question.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Astros cheating? Why haven't we talked about this? I didn't even know they were under investigation.
Because my family keeps talking. Well, not my family, but my brother and my dad.
What is he saying?
Well, he's an Astros fan.
It's
So-
still?
Well, yeah, because he says cheating
Oh.
has been in baseball since it started, and he says the biggest offenders are the Yankees, but many other teams too have cheated
Like they did.
or similar. I mean, to me, worse is steroids because they have their own little lingo where they can cheat and whatever.
But this was straight up like recording, watching, stealing.
Yeah, but I don't care. It's baseball.
No, okay.
This
but
makes it entertaining. Now there's gossip.
but then your brother doesn't care. He's still a fan. He's like,
Yeah.
people do it all the time. So what?
Yeah, they're just, I think people are genuinely more upset because the Astros, we want to see them in a more positive light and thinking, well, they finally won a championship. We don't want to think that they,
But it's tainted. We wouldn't have won
I
it.
know, but people wanted to believe that they won it genuinely.
We did up until 2 months ago. So even then, now we know it's official. They cheated. The investigation concluded. We were recording the signs and watching them. Basically, we decoded everything and we knew the play.
I didn't have a horse in the race. It was nice to see the Astros win a championship because the last title that was won was the Rockets when I was a kid. So I couldn't really process what was going on. So I was like, cool, we won a world title. This is a really cool feeling. This is what it's like.
But
I didn't know. But obviously at the time I didn't know there was possibility of a cheat.
No one knew
or whatever. So when I started hearing about this and I learned how they did it, and they were using the Yankees as an example, and I told Sarah the other day how I interpreted as it was told through ESPN that people steal signs and stuff in baseball and all that yada yada. So you have to go out of your way to protect your own sign language better. Okay, so what I understood was that the Astros in Minute Maid Park had a camera specifically perched somewhere in the stadium to only focus on these signs that the catcher was giving to the pitcher. All right,
so we would know.
So they're doing everything that they can to protect their own signs from cheating, but they don't have a way to protect because obviously the pitcher needs to see the signs. So for the Astros to intentionally have a single camera specifically just to look at this, they see a live feed, they decipher the signal that they're getting, they then radio to the dugout. This is how I interpret it. They radio to the dugout what the play is going to be, and then they had someone banging a piece of metal to then signal to the batter, this is what you're going to expect, and then that's how they were able to beat the Yankees here at home. Because then when we went to New York, the Yankees wiped the floor with us. And statistically and on paper, they were the superior team. I don't know. I don't follow baseball. I think the seasons are way too long. I only tune in for the postseason because now it's a mad dash to the finish line. So I didn't know how good the Yankees were. I don't know the stats of them and their players. Maybe they were a better team. I don't know. But the way that they were telling me this news on ESPN was when you take that advantage away from the Astros, it looked as if we didn't even deserve to be in the tournament because we just got the floor wiped. And then when you come back to Houston, how come the Yankees can't do what they did in New York? They're not even anywhere near what they were performing in New York. What's the problem? And it was because they had the unfair advantage. They were stealing their plays. And I was like, man, it has been proven. The investigation happened that they did cheat. Man, that sucks. Now what do? Well, they're not going to confiscate the championship. There might be an asterisk. I don't know. I don't know if you could even go as far as to take the title away, but just not recognize, one of these in the group is not like the others. These are the world champions of the past decade, asterisk in 2017.
Okay, yeah, but okay. What I'm trying to so her brother is still a fan.
If
people
this had
cheat all the time.
I don't know how the Eagles would have cheated to win the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl. If it had later come out that the Eagles had cheated to win that Super Bowl, the one thing,
they were also deflating the balls
or something. As a hard Eagles fan, I'd be devastated to learn that they did it
that way.
That they didn't do it legit.
Right, you didn't win.
Yeah,
but we did.
We did win, but it's not the way you want to win.
No, it's not. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but you didn't win because you can only win if you had the talent to do it.
Yeah. So it would be the Eagles won the world championship. That's cool. You had to cheat to beat Tom Brady. You couldn't just beat Tom Brady.
You weren't good enough for that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So it's just so interesting going back and forth with everybody. So many people, just like your brother, they're like, yeah, so? I'm like, but that means that they're not actually the champions. They weren't better than everybody else. And when they say that, they're like, oh, okay. Whatever. It's just
because we don't know how the tournament would have gone if it would have been a level playing field. Would the Astros have been eliminated by the Yankees or the team before then or whatever? I forget how the bracket went. It would have been a totally different scenario because then the only teams that have something to cry about is the team that lost in the World Series to the Astros and then the Yankees who lost to the Astros to get there, to get to the championship.
What about Walgreens? Did what? They beat us at the end. Walgreens, the W.
Oh my god!
So they beat us.
Oh,
so were
God.
we
White Sox?
So were we cheating and we still couldn't beat them?
I'm sorry, but how come everyone's just now noticing that the W's match? It's been probably since Walgreens was created.
This is the first time I ever see the W.
It's been the same.
No, I've never ever seen it because
I
don't
had
watch,
never
I don't watch
noticed
baseball
until someone pointed out. I was like, "Don't you see the similarities?" I said, "I can see."
I mean, unless it's a brand new logo, this may be a glitch in the matrix, or Mandela effect or
I
something.
don't watch baseball. This was the first time I've ever seen it. And when I saw it, I was like, what?
Because everyone was pointing out and thinking, hasn't it been around already? Like, how come this wasn't a joke already? Okay, continue.
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy to think of. There were suggestions about what do you do? How do you punish the Astros going into the next season? Season's already started, right?
As a fan, how do you keep going forward?
Just like when your team keeps losing.
Oh, shit. That's different. You lost because you suck.
Yeah, so why keep rooting for that team?
That I don't understand.
It's called loyalty, Sarah.
Yeah, that's one thing, but
loyalty.
like you cheated. Like you.
And that's still loyalty.
I do think that now that it is officially proven, there does need to be some sort of penalty against the Astros. They were spitting off suggestions of, well, how do you punish these guys? Do you take away draft picks for the next, draft or whatever? And I was like, I don't know. Do you fine them a lot of money? Do you you let them keep the trophy, but you tell the players, y'all got to give back y'all's rings?
There needs to be a penalty for football players that suck and that keep playing.
Wow, they do. It's called. It's now called the XFL.
You stop getting picked.
They still get paid.
I know they get paid, but you want to be. So, and then one of the suggestions was ban the Astros for at least one season from the postseason, from the playoffs. So even if the Astros do great and they would be like the number 2 or 3 or 1 seed, it's too bad. Like, you've got to ban. That spot goes to whoever. So it's basically like you could tank the season and get a top draft pick, or play your best, but you're not going to be in it for the championship because you cheated. We're not even going to give you the chance to be in the tournament for another one.
Is it loyalty if Nick rapes somebody?
That's extreme.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just trying to put it in different.
Extreme.
It's a different terms.
No.
You would still be loyal to somebody who did something wrong, and now you got to go to jail.
I don't think she'd wait around for me. I think she'd just be like, okay, thanks, bye.
No, not after jail.
What? Well, I think she'd still say
no,
bye.
after the accusation, I bounce.
But like it's
cats.
It's like. It's like that. It's like they cheated. They don't just suck.
No, if he cheated on a test, I'd be like, okay, honey, you just need to keep practicing at it until you get better.
But cheat in the meantime.
Sure. I cheated. I don't care.
People cheat all the time. Yeah. But you're the only reason that it's like your hometown, And then some people are like, well, no, they're also good. That's why I'm a fan. But now it's like they're not good. Oh, it's like, that's fine. I just don't get it.
I don't think I can blame the players, though. I feel like they played genuinely well. Mm-hmm. I don't watch. But, like, for Altuve and whoever they were rooting for, I think they genuinely played well. I think whoever contrived this idea to cheat, it's on them. Mm-hmm. So I say...
So the players shouldn't be?
I don't think so. Because they're genuinely practicing. Because... They have their downtime. They need to practice.
But if they didn't participate, or they were like, no, I don't want the signals, then...
I don't know. We don't know.
It takes two.
I don't think we're ever going to know who on the roster that played in that postseason was in on it. We don't know which members of the team asked to have the signal audible for them to hear what is going to happen or whatever. We don't know if any of the players was like, no, I don't want to. I want to try to hit this ball on my own.
But so what you're saying is that when they did the signal, they didn't know that they were doing that signal because they had decoded what the ball was going to be thrown like. You think that it was just like, okay, this means hit the ball this way.
Or they
could have just simply ignored it. They don't have to be a part of it if they don't want to.
I don't know.
I think it's the same for football players. It could be a quarterback and the coach contriving this cheat of deflating the balls or whatever. The players can know about it, but they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to go play. I'm not going to be a part of it. These are grown-ass men. They don't get into drama.
Well, the deflatable thing, is that really cheating? Like, I mean...
I don't really remember all the details about that because I was actually kind of confused as to how the Patriots were like, okay, you deflate the ball
a little bit.
What does it do?
Right. What's the advantage?
Somebody was intentionally deflating the balls because all the balls need to have a certain amount. I don't know if it's PSI or whatever. They have to be NFL regulated, and they have to be a certain PSI or pressure.
And if they're not,
and somebody was intentionally not hitting that, and I don't know what it would do. I don't know if it makes the ball easier to catch or easier to throw.
That's what I don't understand.
Or whatever. I don't know. But when that exploded, there was a lot of, did Tom know or something? And then there was reason to believe that he had like messages in his phone that would implicate him in knowing or something. Like it basically boiled down to, does he know or does he not know? You're the quarterback of the team. Like if someone's not putting enough pressure in these balls, one would assume that you would know. Because a kicker, when they go and they grab the footballs, even though they're all aired the exact same, not all the footballs are the same, you know? So like they'll grab a football and be like, no, this one's going to hang to the left, or this one's like, I don't feel like this one's going to make it or whatever. Like if you're a quarterback, you touch the balls enough times to know this ball doesn't feel.
Give me another one.
Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel as firm as it should. Like, you know. And so I remember when Tom was like, I'm not going to give you my phone. And then like his phone like either broke or he got a new phone or something like that. I can't remember if it was destroyed.
Bro,
and
he
so
knew.
Like a lot of evidence was lost. So then they didn't have enough stuff to implicate him in allegedly cheating. And I was just like, God damn it. It just seems like a lot of convenience. A lot of things of convenience got in the way of finding out the truth. Did they cheat or did they know that they were cheating or something?
Jeffrey Epstein, both guards fell asleep, the camera wasn't working.
Yeah.
Like, oh really, all of
these coincidences happened.
This all happened. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if I root for a team, it's because I think you're good, I want you to win. Then it's like, you cheated, so like what am I rooting for?
How do you feel about Leo Messi then? I mean, it's kind of, it didn't affect his sport, it just affected his
what happened with him? I know there's something there. What happened with him?
Tax fraud. Both him and his dad. But he's such an amazing player. Mm-hmm. But he got in so much shit for not filing his taxes right or not paying them. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, will you still be loyal to him because he's a player? But also him as a player, he's this normal person. So would your perspective change of him, and would you be a little more judgy? Because in a way he cheated the system to not pay his taxes or whatever it was.
The difference here is your ability to play in the game is what I'm rooting for. That did not affect Messi's ability to play the game. So I don't know Lionel Messi. I don't know him as a person. What little we know about him, that's not why I root for him or like him. I like his skills on the field.
Mm-hmm. But in a way, he still did cheat.
That's perfectly fine, but not in the game.
Okay.
So in this one, it's like, I like you. I want you to win, but you're cheating to win at what I like. So why do I still like you?
And who is this Messi guy? Is he a soccer player?
Soccer.
Yeah, Lionel Messi. He plays for Barcelona in Argentina.
So he was avoiding paying his taxes?
I think. It was some kind of fraudulent charge between him and his dad. I think it was tax evasion.
Just evasion. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Shakira, a bunch of people that year came out.
Well, as long as Major League Soccer didn't have to get involved. Did they get involved?
No.
They're just like, you're involved with the law.
That's, you figure it out with the government, yeah.
Oh, okay. Goddamn. Okay, so he was knowingly evading paying his taxes because he's got the resources, he's got the money. Yeah. If you don't want to do it, hire somebody. If I had the money, I'd hire someone to do my taxes because I can't stand doing my taxes.
Mm-hmm. He did hire somebody, and that somebody was like, "We could do this," and he was like, "That's fine."
It almost makes me think back to what we just started talking about with the whole Jeffree Star and Gabby Hanna. We want to, if you're such a loyal fan, you want to see the good in them, no matter what terrible shit they do. Mm-hmm. But if you're able to be swayed by your moral compass, then you'd be like, oh no, I can't back them up anymore.
Yeah.
So really, all just depends of your fandom of these people.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what it would feel like to have my favorite sports teams caught cheating. I mean, it's one thing to cheat during the regular season. You may get an advantage in the postseason, but if you win it all and it comes out that you cheated. Man, I don't know. What was
the point?
Yeah, because it's like, oh man, we lost in Super Bowl 39. That sucked. And then we won in 52, and then it was taken away because we cheated. Like, then, like, does that hurt even worse when you legit lost in 39? I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy world that we live in. A new rumor has surfaced suggesting that the main villains for the upcoming Flash movie will be Mirror Master and the Reverse Flash. Now this movie is being pushed back to sometime in 2022.
Why?
Because they keep losing directors for the Flash movie.
Kind of like Hilary Duff.
What? What do you mean about Hillary Duff?
The Lizzie McGuire
Show?
or
What?
movie
The show.
show.
What? What's going on with the show?
They keep losing directors.
No way.
That's why it's not out.
Don't
Honey,
even
we
play.
just talked about this several episodes ago.
God damn it. Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, has earned over $57 million domestically, making it the most successful opening weekend for a video game adaptation of all time.
It beat Doom?
Maybe Home Alone 3 beat Doom. I don't know. Doom was not good. So,
I'm sure Home Alone 3 did beat it because everybody thought it was going to be a good movie. Just like 1 and 2.
So, Sarah, has this changed your opinion at all? Maybe Sonic the Hedgehog is a good movie. People keep saying that it's not bad. IGN gave it like a 7, I think is what I told you. A 7 out of 10.
If you absolutely have no one to go with you, I'll go with you.
Oh no, I'll have people to go with me. I just don't want to come home and be like, damn, that movie was good. And you be like, well, shit, I should have gone and supported Nick and seen this movie.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Who's watching this movie? Who's this for? Is it for kids?
We went to the movies this weekend and we saw a bunch of kids.
A lot of kids.
Is it for kids?
From what I understand, what IGN said is that it is for kids, but it's also for lifetime Sonic the Hedgehog fans. People who have been through the highs and lows like I have would appreciate a lot of stuff that's in this movie. And I have no idea what's in this movie. All I know is what I've seen in the trailer. And now that he actually looks like Sonic the Hedgehog, I wanted to see it. Before, I had to see it because I was like, this is going to be a train wreck. I'm going to double fist margaritas. I'm going to have a good time. And then when they changed the way he looked, I thought, man, this thing might actually have a legit shot at being okay.
Yeah.
I might only...
Damn it, I have to be sober now.
I know, I might only just need one margarita. And now they've made so much money and it's gotten good reviews. I'm like, I may not even need a margarita.
Okay.
A sequel to the live-action Aladdin movie is currently in development with Guy Ritchie and genie actor Will Smith expected to return. The return of Jafar and King of Thieves will not be used as a basis for the script. So they're going to change the game, bro.
They're rewriting history.
Yeah. Rick Moranis is going to return for a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie.
Don't make that be your return, dude.
Is he going to be the grandpa? Or
Oh.
Stay out of my basement.
I mean, he's not that old. I mean, he's old enough to be a grandfather, but he's not old.
Right.
He's not like Bill Murray old.
It's going to be like that. It's going to be he has the technology. They stumbled upon it in the garage or the basement.
So they're like,
"Hey,
basically,
kid,
it's
over
the
there."
new Ghostbusters movies, but Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Honey, I Shrunk the Grandkids.
Dude, I loved Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The movie was good.
It was good. I remember the big ant.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I was so heartbroken when the ant died. Spoiler alert, the ant dies.
I mean, my God, if you haven't seen it 20 years later.
It's so long ago, I don't really remember everything that happened.
I think it's on Disney. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. Because when I was looking through those things, yeah, I saw it there. There are new film adaptations of Silent Hill and Fatal Frame in the works. And director Christoph Gans said that he would like to set the Fatal Frame movie inside a haunted Japanese house, just like the video game was. So that's pretty cool. We got another Silent Hill coming. You know,
As you roll your eyes.
as I roll, like
I'm
for
like, I'm
whatever
not
that's
excited.
worth. The first
I heard
one,
a squeak.
the first one was okay. The second one, the shits. And I've always wanted a Fatal Frame movie because it could be good.
Here's two.
Here's my expectations versus everything that I've seen so far. Expectations are fairly high for Fatal Frame.
Okay.
Before we go, fast food worker is fired after taking a bath in the restaurant's sink. This occurred in a Wendy's in Greensville, United States. The clip was uploaded to TikTok and was viewed thousands of times before being widely shared to several more social media sites. The video shows a young man sitting in a soapy sink up to his shoulders and is shirtless. His bare knees can be seen above the waterline and it is unknown if he was actually naked. As the man wipes at his chest, he says, quote, "It feels like a hot tub. I'm enjoying my life, boss," as a metal food tray is then slid into the water from out of frame. Christian Camp, who is a spokesperson for Team Showstack, which owns that particular Wendy's, said that all the employees seen in the video were fired immediately after they became aware of the clip. He also said the entire store was properly sanitized and an incident like this will never happen again.
He can't guarantee that, but yeah.
So yeah, the images that I saw, I didn't see the video. Yeah, there was a young man sitting in one of those sinks where you do the little thing and you washing dishes, and he filled it up and he was in there.
I thought he was in the restroom. That's why it didn't make sense. But now
he's in the kitchen.
Yeah,
he's in the kitchen, and I guess it's after hours, and he's taking a hot tub bath right there in the middle of the Wendy's.
I was at a Freebirds once upon a time. This was in Rosenberg.
Okay.
And we saw two employees, they were kids, sitting on the food prep counter, fiddling with their phone.
Wow.
And the boyfriend at the time was smart, and he took a picture of it and tagged Freebirds in the picture when he was on Facebook. And it's safe to say that location is now closed.
Dang. Maybe not for that one reason.
No.
But it had to have been
I don't
a
know
domino.
how long ago it closed, because this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago when that incident happened. When I was making a road trip out that way.
Yeah.
Fairly recently. I saw it was closed, so I was thinking, haha.
So you two have worked in food before. I'm the only one here that has never worked in food because I've heard the horror stories. Sarah, do you have any particular crazy stories from when you worked in food?
I worked at a restaurant where it was totally out in the open known that the head kitchen guy and a waitress / bartender, I guess, were sleeping together.
Married waitress?
He was married.
Dang.
I don't think she'll ever be married.
Oh.
And they said, yeah, we openly have sex in the supply closet.
Wow.
Because you walk in, is takeout, supply closet, and bathroom.
Yeah.
And they would go into the supply closet. So when that head kitchen guy was leaving, she said a special bye out loud, and we all just kind of laughed in the kitchen. I can't remember what she said, but I was just like, dude. And the managers are okay with this?
Wow.
Like, nobody was fired. He actually had to leave on his own accord. It's just, okay.
Oh my God.
I'm done with this place. I'm done having sex here.
Manuel, do you have any wild and crazy stories from when you worked in fast food?
So there's this big freezer in the back where you can put the meat, the chicken, most of the fried stuff. And the tacos. You can leave all of that stuff in the big freezer. Well, in the big freezer, there were always stories of people getting lost back there. So you go and you restock a few things, and then we're not busy. So then for a little bit, you don't see George and you don't see Mary, and then later you see them again.
Huh. And the restaurant in question is not a big place.
It's not.
I think our house is probably bigger than that location.
Oh, for sure. So that was a special location because we had the freezer and we had the shed in the back.
Yeah.
So people in the shed would get blow jobs and hand jobs.
Wow.
You close the door a little bit, just leave it a little bit open. People in the drive-thru could, technically see, but nobody would look because they're just like waiting in line.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my God.
Not near the food or anything, especially like in the freezer. Like everything was in boxes. So
yeah, of course you're not going to do it near the food. What are they, barbarians? No, they're just sexually active teenagers. Hey,
these were not teenagers.
Who does? Wow.
When I was working there, I was the teenager.
Oh man, see that changes everything. See, I thought you were probably like the junior or senior that worked with a bunch of freshmen.
I was their boss, but these are people with tattoos who can't get real jobs, and they were older than me, and they've been around the block. These are the people I worked with, and these are the people I learned some life lessons from.
Wow. Do you have a life lesson that you'd like to share, that you can share?
They would no, other than they would always make fun of me because they'd always like say things and be like, oh, like look how pure he is. Look, he doesn't even know. Like,
he's like, this guy's never done meth. What's he know?
For real. Like teeth missing and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, look at this guy. He thinks he's better than me because he's got all his teeth. And you're like, what the fuck?
Are you gonna count your drawer or not? You count it.
And it's like, oh, okay. Do you want me to count your drawer because you can't count? Can't even count how many kids he's got. That guy, he's like, I got like 7 kids with 3 women.
And it's not specific to gender. This was male and female alike.
Did you ever do anything that was shady in this job? You were like 100 all the way through.
When I would do funny things or like things that would be teenage like, it was like throwing ice in the fryer, and then start like it's like a bomb. You put ice in the fryer, it starts bombing and stuff like that. Most of the time that I was alone, I was in charge. So, and like I would work with my buddy Edgar, and I think most horrible thing we did was eat on the clock. Yeah,
because I think you're only supposed to get like one free meal during your shift if you want it.
Yep. Yeah, the rest is 20% off, but we just
like, what
the
fuck? Yeah. Okay, and while you were working, did the ice cream machine always work?
We weren't like that.
Oh, okay.
When it was time to clean it, it wasn't working. But we put it right back together. It wasn't like we stopped at 2 a.m. and it came back at 7 a.m. No.
Oh, okay. All right. So what do you say? What do you say about these conspiracy theories about McDonald's and their ice cream machine never working?
It's not a conspiracy theory.
They're just lazy.
Yeah.
Or they're just dumb and they don't know how to do it.
No.
No, they're lazy.
It's hard work. You gotta empty everything out.
Yeah.
Then go wash it. Come back. Put it all back up. And you can't sell it yet because it's not cold.
Yeah.
So it's a long process.
Yeah. Okay.
They're just lazy.
No, because I was trying to explain this to a coworker. I was like, "Look, it's a fast food joint. Like the process of making it is all in the machine. It's not like you're doing it from scratch. It's in a pouch, and you just kind of pour the mix in, and it does it." I was like, "So, whatever goes into the machine to make it work, I don't know, but actually with the product, handling the product, it's just in a pouch. You cut it." And it's like wine from a box. It's in a pouch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But taking down the machine is, I don't even know what the word is right now, but it's just excessively hard.
Yeah.
You got to unscrew it. You got to take everything from inside out to go wash it little by little. And then when you put it back together, you got to put grease on certain things, screws back together, everything. And there's so many parts. Like if you could mess up, like you'd be like, okay, it's done. And then it's not working.
So then they just need to make it easier then.
That if they could make it easier, that would be how you get people to have the ice machine or the shake machine up all the time. But like I remember putting it back together several times, and I'm like, because it wouldn't work. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm missing this.
Every time you do it, you're just like, yeah. I always end up with extra washers and screws. It's cool.
But you can't mess up because you put the shake stuff back in.
It'll start to leak.
No. Then if you have to open it again, you have to pour, and that goes to the trash.
Yeah, that's true. How do you drain? You just pull the little nozzle and it drains?
Pull it out. Yeah, put it
into
in a
bucket.
Bucket. Yeah, all the way out. So all that's wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you dump it, and then so if you finished, you put the stuff back in and everything, and then you're like, oh, where's that black thing? Oh, I'm missing a screw. Like, oh my, yeah.
Wow. See, now that changes my opinion on that. But yeah, these people are lazy. When I go to McDonald's, I want my McFlurry. I better get my McFlurry. Because I could always go to the Dairy Queen, and that never happens because that's what they do.
And maybe they have it easy. Maybe they've made it like to where they have a machine where it's really easy to clean.
You don't think Ronald is talking to the Dairy Queen? He's like, look, let's simplify this. Sell me the patent to your machines, and we'll make pancakes here.
Well, I'm talking about 2004, 2003.
Well, yeah.
Let me find out that it's much easier and people still putting that shit.
So next week, do you guys object to anything if we were to talk about sex again? Because we found some certain stuff. One of which is a certain machine that is specifically designed to give blowjobs. And there's actually a thing out there called the blowjob papers that I wanted to talk about.
No, are you sure you're not talking about a fleshlight?
No. This is a robot that is programmed to do this.
To suck.
To do that. to give out fellatio, man. There's an algorithm that's written to make this thing work.
I want details.
Okay, so next week we're going to talk about sex again. This will be the third time that we've done.
He's looking straight at Sarah.
These are always good episodes. What do you like? Don't look at me like that.
You're such a man, honey.
We've got listeners all over the place. Do you guys remember where we have listeners from?
I don't have the stats in front of me. What do I do?
Isn't that crazy that we have? Well, here it is. We got 10% of our listeners are using the Podbeam app.
Yeah.
Apple has the majority of our listeners, which is not what I thought would be. And then the rest are a third party. We've got some Texas listeners. We've got some Michigan listeners, people listening to us in New York, California. Wow. There's 8 people in Ohio constantly listening to us. And we're close to 1,000 downloads of the show since moving to Podbeam in December.
Yeah, That's pretty good.
What it says that our best episode is episode 10, the Halloween one.
I don't even remember what. Does it say what the title was? It was just Halloween?
It just says it was episode 10, Halloween, and episode 1, Polybius?
Oh, you weren't on that episode. Yeah, it was
No.
Polybius and the Mandela effect.
He says that was what our best one was, but currently episode 21 is, which I don't know what episode 21 is, but
I have it right here. Let me look up what it was.
Followed by-
Episode 21 was all the theories.
That sounds
Oh, no, it was the Pixar theory and
that's
the
right. That's right.
Rugrats theory, and that's what it was. Yeah.
I heard on a different podcast earlier today that there was this guy who was not guy, but he was the one streaming someone's asshole, like butthole, because it looked like Jesus Christ. And I want to Google that, not for the butthole. I want to see if they really like who said like, hey, can you take a look at my? Does it look like Jesus Christ?
If you could find the video or like an article written about it, I would love to hear about that next week.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to talk about sex and everything bodily fluids next week. That should be a lot of fun because it's always a lot of fun to talk about sex. And until then, his name was Manuel, my name was Nick, her name was Sarah. Bye.